Want to know how to do tricky papering? Small rooms? Ceiling? Not going to tell you how to do wallpapering, but I'm going to talk you through doing this job. If you want to know a bit more, stay tuned. Back with you in a few seconds. Just on a side note, because I know you're all interested in what I do, this is a house for a new customer working this is a house working for an interior designer. But ironically, this house, as a business, as a MD Beckwith Decorators, we've been working at this house since the 80s. Now, the last time I came to this house was early 2000s. We did the outside. But on and off over the last 30 odd years, 30, 40 years, we know this house inside out. Now, unfortunately, the old couple that lived here, they went into a home and the daughter sold the house on to the previous owners to who's in it now. Now, there's been probably £500,000 worth of renovations done on this house. And unfortunately, we weren't involved on the decorating on the rest of it. But we've now come in and done the specialist wallpapering. So how things go round, come round, swing round, it's unbelievable. But I must say, this house is the best it's ever looked. It's had a lot of work done on it that our previous owners that had it hadn't spent the money on it, even though they'd got the money to spend on it. But when somebody comes in and guts a house and spends over £500,000 on it, that's some serious dosh. But no, it's looking lovely, and I'm proud to say I've actually worked here at this house before, and also I'm back here now doing some specialist wallpaper that the new owners are over the moon with. So let's leave it there. Bit of history on Beckwith Decorators, but it's funny how you can go around and come around and work out houses that you worked at before. So yeah, that's it. See you again. Morning, chillings of the internet, painters and decorators. Folks interested in my channel, wanting to know a little bit of anything from painting and decorating, spraying, wallpapering. Unusual one today. Bit of a tricky wallpaper, not for the faint-hearted. Definitely not for the faint-hearted when you see how much it is a roll, or I don't want to say a roll, it's actually a two-roll system. There's an A and a B paper, which sounds quite simple, doesn't it? A and a B, but not when you start reading a little bit more about the instructions. You've got an A and a B paper, so that's two rolls. Roll A will match roll B, straight through pattern match. It's all here on the instructions. Always read the instructions. But when you go from roll B to roll A, it's an 80 centimetre half drop. I know, it's mind-blowing, mind-blowing. I'm just going to say mind-blowing. So you've got A and B will be a straight through match, and then when you go from B to A, it's an 80 centimetre half drop, which, find it halfway between, that's 40 centimetres pattern repeat. Complicated? Yeah, it is complicated. When I'm on a little room, a very little room, it's just an entrance room in a house that's having it over the walls and the ceiling. Now you're going to say, Phil, how do you do it over the walls and the ceiling? Don't have a drink the night before. That's what I'm going to say to you. So I'm not going to show you how to hang paper, because we've done hanging paper wallpapers. This is more of a case of let's just talk through how you do it. Now, if you can see behind me, I'm doing this ceiling. This is a brilliant angle. What I've done, I've found the middle. So there's the middle between the two sides. Obviously, middle between two sides. And I've done that both sides. Now, I'll insert some pictures of using the laser liner on a fixed laser to get the line in between, going all the way across. Now, the length I've just hung is roll A. Now, because the width is a 27-inch wide paper, which is, if you want it in European, it's 68.6 centimetres. It's about 27-inch, I think, anyway. So what I've done, there's some, let's bring it there. There's some salvage came off there of about, what should we say, 4 or 5 inches. So this is roll. This is roll A, and I'm matching straight across to the length that will be roll B. So the ceiling's actually quite easy, apart from you've got a bit of waste either side. So that'll be a straight through match. I'm not trying to balance it top to bottom because it's too complicated to paper. It's a fussy paper, you don't need to do it. So let's move across to here. I've had to take in, you can see that, an alarm. Is it a PIR sensor? A sensor for somebody coming in? Again, I'll put, can you focus on me? Oh. I'll put some photos somewhere there or there to see how you've done star cuts around it. So all I'm doing is this. We'll do a quick video on this. I don't want to be 20 minutes hanging paper. So this paper, A and B next to it, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the middle of this door entrance. So that will then correspond with that joint coming all the way down. And hopefully I can virtually, I'm not saying match it, but I can flow the wallpaper pattern down that. So that will match. I'll say match, it's not matching, but the pattern will feel like it's flowing from the ceiling down. And then that will be an A, that will be a B. And when it comes to the sides, there'll be a bit of a, I'll say the offcut gets rehung there. So we'll go A with an offcut, rehang, and then the next one will be a B at half drop. And then the same will be on that side. Does that make sense? So A and B match, but B to A is half drop. That's an A, that's a B. Job's a good one. Do you follow me? Yeah, of course you do. Right, see in a bit when I do a bit more. Right, you can see what I've done here. I'll point it out. There's the edge of the coving just there. So I've got what, 4 inch, 5 inch overlap. Now I could have trimmed this down on the board, but I didn't do because I wanted to make sure that nothing's running out. And I've worked off the roll because it's a paste to the wall. Now if you can see back of my head just there, I've got what, 1 inch and a bit, probably 2 inch overlap. So I'm going to come this side, overlap. What I'll do now, I'll find the corner, trim the corner so it folds in nicely. Same the other side, and then I'll work on the joints on there, make sure they're all matching up. They are actually all matching up, but I just want to wipe them down in case any paste residue's gone on them. And then I'll start trimming with a straight edge against the coving edge, which if you can just see there, coving edge there. So that's how you do it. And this is working off an A and a B roll, doing it straight off the roll because it's a paste to the wall. A bit tricky, a bit sweaty. Probably sweating because I know how much it is for a couple of rolls. It's not £30 a roll. Probably add a bit more onto that. So I'll see in a bit when I've got it on and we can talk about the other bits. Good. So. Back again with the Renegade Master. Right. You see, got the laser liner there. I've found the middle, following where the joint is on the top. That comes down. It runs out because the angle there's different size to that one there, but that is a plumb line straight down, matching the ceiling. So I'm going to work off that now, do an A, which is here, and then a B there, and then we flow it round. So all interesting stuff. Back, done with the tricky one. See there, come around the corner. There was a little inch and a bit just there to trim off and then rehang, and that's why I've got, if you see that, the laser liner's back in play to get that right. Now this is I'm calling this length A. Now the next one here is going to be a B, and this is the half drop. So the half drop's going to be a tricky one just to match up, but well, not tricky to match up, but this is where you've got to remember that you're not matching through and you're doing a half drop. So that'll be a half drop, and then that'll be a straight through for an A. Then we'll come to a B, which will be a half drop again. That makes sense because it goes A to B straight through. But no, all good look. Looking spanking. And I've even managed to get, see the cloud there, matching it about the same distance as it does up there, allowing for taking out of the coving. So it actually flows round. The ceiling there flows round to the wall all the way down. It obviously won't matter when I'm coming along these walls because nothing will match. But you see what I'm doing? Oh, while I'm at it, look at these. Butt joints on lining paper. Butt joints. I say butt joints. Trimming the lining paper can be a bit off and on, so depending on how the wall is as well, you get a fraction of a gap, fraction, then it goes on tight, fraction off. Well, that looks quite bad there, it's the way the light's getting in. So you tie and it goes back on again, but that can be trimming of your paper. But that's nothing to worry about, so just let it go, get it on as tight as you can. And interestingly, it says on the instructions of this paper, make sure your walls are lined, which I always do. Right, just finishing off this, so just want to show you the last couple of lengths that I'm doing. It's looking fantastic, got around the door, going around to the front door. Now, one of the tricky bits, this is the final length up against the door. Now, the bottom edge of the coving have been lost by the plasterer because it's been replastered. So some of the coving had a bottom edge, like that side there, and above my head there. But the sides, because they've been replastered, hadn't. So what I'd have to do, because it made it look like there was a step from the coving there to that corner, I made a new line. There, so it's a fraction, I'll say a fraction of an inch down, and I've done it the opposite side there. So it actually visually to the eye, because this is quite a high ceiling, I'm on medium pair of steps, you're probably half an inch below the actual bottom edge, but that edge there follows all the way around to the proper bottom edge of the coving. Now, this is just something I've done because I want it visually looking right to the eye. So I've had to make a new edge there. Freehand folded it, made sure it was all lined up. Now, I'm just showing you how I do it because you see what I've done there? I folded it over to the correct part of the paper to match all the way across to that corner. Where that corner is, that's where the proper edge starts there. I don't know whether that makes sense to you or not. So I've folded it, and I'll get the straight edge and cut to that line there. And that will give me, because I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, it's really rounded because they've plastered over it. So that's what I'm doing there. I've had to go into the angle there, just overlapped it fraction of an inch. I'm not going to tell you how to do wallpapering on this one. If you want to look at how to do angles, look at the link in that corner. So I've gone into there, it's an angle, and then my next piece there will literally just be onto that face. I'm not going to go underneath that curve. It's too, if I say it's like a greyhound's back leg, I can't do it. So just that will be papered, nipping it onto there, find the match of the paper flowing through, and just hang there, and then that's that done. Straight easy trim down the door frame, just make sure you go at the back of the hinges there. Again, I'm not telling you how to do wallpapering because we know how to do that. This is just talking about this coal and sun wallpaper. Bit of a tricky one because it's a AB, BA match. So A to B straight through, and then B to A is a half drop at 8 centimetres. So if anybody's doing this paper, I'll look at the camera. If anybody's doing this paper, don't be frightened of it. It's very expensive. Just treat it like any other paper. But it is spanking. It looks lovely. Done the ceiling, done the walls. Now the bit that will be a bit tricky is coming into this corner. What I'll do exactly the same. I'll come into this angle there. I'll overlap it round a fraction of an inch. And then I'll put a piece on here, wrap it round in one, and then overlap it into that piece. Then that'll be a piece going on separately. That makes sense. But further down, I mean, you know what I'm like. I've mentioned before. Mentioned before, when you come to an external, what you normally do, if this was a bigger return, you come round, overlap it slightly, then hang a new piece to get that plumb on. I'm not going to do that with this one because it's a short piece of return. I'll go into there and into the angle, so wrap it round in one. The only fear is it's not straight, it's not a good true straight external angle, and you can just see a little bit of bubbling See a little bit of bubbling, only slightly, a little bit of bubbling on the lining paper. With this being at the back of the door, it's not going to be too noticeable. So this will be wrap round in one, wrap it round. So into that angle, slight overlap, put your new piece on, overlap it around. So that's where we are with it. I'll say, not telling you how to hang wallpaper. This is beyond that now. You know how to hang wallpaper. This is just talking about this wallpaper. A bit of a tip. It is paste the wall. I'm using Wix tub paste. You know I like Wix tub paste. That's ideal. Just thin it to taste. If it's a bit thick, just thin it down. Now, I've got about a medium pile roller to apply that, so I'm putting enough on without going too mad. And I've got, what's that, 2.5 inch just to cut in around the top, down the sides. When you come to hang your paper, I know this is going back to basics, try and find a joint for you. I can feel a joint there. This wall was slightly, got a bit of a bump in it, which throws your pattern off. When it throws your pattern off, your joints might get thrown off for your pattern matching. Don't worry about that. Just make sure visually at eye level your pattern runs through. Don't worry about what's happening at the top. Don't worry about what's happening at the bottom, because nobody's going to be looking at that. Get it matching at eye level. And if I can get you in close enough, I don't know whether you'll see. There's the joint, and I've got the match going across there, across there, across there. It all matches nicely. At the top, it might slightly run off, only very fraction. Some bad walls could run off quite badly, but this isn't too bad. But if I run my hand over the walls, I can actually feel where the bumps are and hollows that take your wallpaper where you don't want it. And that's just where the trick of the trade is. Make sure it's matching at eye level. Don't worry about above or below. So there we are. I'm going to call it a day at that. I'll show you some pictures at the end when it's all finished. But what a lovely wallpaper. This was done yesterday and I'm just finishing off the last bits for today. So there we are. Think you'll be able to do it? A, B, B, A. A to B, straight through. B to A, half drop. Dead easy. The main thing is just make sure you keep marking your walls of wallpaper so you don't miss or lose. Is that an A roll or is it a B roll? As long as you know your A and your B roll, it should be fine. And don't be frightened of it. This is a non-woven, paste the wall, goes on nicely. Don't be frightened of it. This is, I'm saying, not far off £400 for a couple of rolls of wallpaper. £400, it's just under 400. It's expensive, but it looks stunning. With me lining the walls, it says line the walls, make sure you line them. This gives you a sound, clean surface for your wallpaper. Lasts a long time. None of this is going over emulsion. Line it. So, see you later when it's all done. There we have it, everybody. Day and a half's worth of papering. I've done the ceiling and I've done the walls. Now, this isn't a paper you want to be rushing. I'm going to say to anybody, if you've got this paper to do, don't panic. Don't get all hot and flustered. Just take your time. Treat it like any other paper. It doesn't matter it's nearly £400 for a couple of rolls. This room, well, it's well over probably 800 quid's worth of wallpaper in this room, and it's only an entrance. But when I spoke to you last, I was doing just round these pieces up at the top there and there. Now, they're completed. I'm just going to talk you through what I've done, because I've done the ceiling, found the middle of that. Can you see me? I found the middle of the ceiling just there. Oh, let's get it right. Found the middle of the ceiling, came all the way across, found the middle of the ceiling, struck a line with the laser. Lasers are brilliant. Don't let anybody tell you they're not. Struck a line, worked from the middle, and this is an A and a B paper. So the left-hand side there was off roll A, and then that was a straight through match for roll B. Now, what was interesting, I could actually do it, that coming down the wall, I found the middle of this centre. That paper there being an A is also an A paper there. Making sense? And if you can just work out, can you see where these clouds are just there? And then the cloud there, that is virtually spot on for the pattern repeat. So it actually flows nicely, and I know that there's only these two pieces here that are pattern repeating across the ceiling, but I took my time and I've worked it out, and that corresponds with that one there, which is nice. Just taking into account that there's that coving missing there, so that's the only waste on there. It follows through. But no, this piece there was an A. That one was a B. I went round the corner slightly with the overlap, like I tell you on previous videos, just overlap it and then add your piece in. The piece that I was adding in was only an inch, couple of inches, not a lot. You can see it there. It was only, let's just have a feel, I'd say probably just over an inch I was returning. So we went A, B, this was another length A, then went on to a B, and then that's an A. And this is where I've gone into the angle again, overlapped it round. This actual corner really ran out, that I managed to get the laser liner following the clouds at the top, coming down, following this cloud line. And literally this cloud line there was my line just there. But when it gets to the bottom, can you see? Yeah, you can see that cloud line is virtually into the corner. That's how bad this corner was running out. But there's nothing you can do about that. But I know that that paper is on true. And I don't like wrapping round, but because we've only got a little return there, I did wrap round in one that gave me a strip. Let's find it. The strip's about that wide to return up to the door, just there. So there's a piece just been put in there. So a bit tricky. And then the tops, I can't really show you, and the tops across the top were also matched in. So there we go. I'm talking you through it. I've not been telling you how to do wallpapering. You already know that if you're watching this, because this is advanced, let's call it advanced paper hanging. This isn't for the faint-hearted. If you've been doing other stuff, not into wallpapering, you're just into painting and a bit of spraying, this is your tricky wallpapers. This is the one you don't want to mess up, and a bit of experience, you get into it. But no, lovely wallpaper. It's a Coal and Sun wallpaper. I'll give you a link to it in the bio below. And I'll say thanks for listening to me. Probably about 15 minutes talking about this. I've not shown you how to do wallpapering, but I've told you how I approach this. An A, a B to A. Tricky, but we got there in the end. So thanks for listening to me. Press that like button, subscribe, and thanks for all my loyal thanks for my loyal subscribers and supporters. And I'll see you on the next one. Over and out. Bye bye.